Hi, Jane. I'm going to show you a video that um, I hope will illuminate the difference between a trained final response and just having the dog communicate to you where the hide is in some manner. That indication process or behavior or result is really on a continuum. At one end, you have what CyberScent teaches, which is a trained final response. It's a trained behavior, much as you would have in any behavior chain. Um, um, if you were training a sit, and you wanted it for obedience, you would have some precision to it. It's, a tuck sit, rear end tucked under, legs are straight and pointing forward. The rear feet don't splay out to the sides. There'd be a whole bunch of criteria for precision. When you have that precision, you then go ahead and train duration on that sit, but you would still want that same precision. In the training process, you would focus on one thing, precision, or you would focus on duration until you can put them together. So a trained final response, as taught by CyberScent, is a nose freeze right on the source with the whole body locked in. You can't miss it. It's going to look different than anything else the dog is doing in the process of searching and locating. The other end of the continuum is what the NACSW instructors teach, is that the dog should be allowed to communicate to you however suits him in that particular case, where the hide is, where the odor is. And that can be something like a lot of people will go for a look back, where the dog pokes his nose in someplace and then looks back at the handler. Or they can just be a brief nose touch to something, and then the dog has quickly turned around and doing nothing, essentially. Nothing repeatedly the same. And many versions of things in between those ends of the continuum. So this is I searched my archives to try to find something that I could show you in Stewie's training before he was fluent in things, what this can look like. So this is Stewie doing task 6. He's got a set of containers out there, and one of them has the odor. And the nice thing about training and practicing is that you as the handler know where the hot item is. You know where the odor source is. So you can keep your dog on track and not find yourself reinforcing for the wrong item. And we're going to see, I'm hoping I can show you a little bit of the difference here. So let's take a watch at Stewie here.
There you go. All right, Stewie. Get odor in your nose. Get odor in your nose. Do it!
Okay, so I stopped the video. And if Stewie has stopped himself in this configuration, nose down, body locked up, no more moving, I might have been thinking of calling that the alert on that. But that's not what happens. So I'm going to pull this scrubber back a little bit and go through with this past that point now. So he left and moved on. So what that tells me is there was some odor piling up on that little white container, or maybe something smelled good near it, or whatever. There was something he had to investigate, and that meant leaving his nose there a little longer. If this were a typical NACSW student's search, there. If this has been a typical NACSW search, that person could have easily called alert on that because the dog touched it and he was there for a little bit. So let's watch it again and think about, if you saw this, would you call alert?
Nose. Get odor in your nose. No, in.
Before, when I say that would you call alert, I mean before the dog obviously moved away. That, if you did, you would have a false alert. So part of these exercises that we do like in task 6 is to learn to read the dog's language, body language, as to what's the difference between investigating kind of hard, and actually indicating. So let's take the whole video now, Stewie, and go further. Because I know this is, I know where the hide is, I'm not going to call a false alert in training. He's back to it again. That would also make a person with any way he communicates type of indication call it.
Yep, good boy.
So there he locked in, nose was still. My marker, yep, record. I bumped the record button, so I lost some thought here. I don't know where I lost it, but I'm going to run this again. So we can see Stewie, he's going to move through this space. Nice shake off, clear the head. Now he just went back to the one where it would have been easy for someone to call a false alert. And him going back to it and checking it again is even making it easier for someone to call a false alert. And when I say someone, I include myself, because in the trial, we all do weird mental things. So you have to be careful. We all have to be careful. So Stewie's going around now. He didn't get any joy out of that one he wanted to check so well. And now he's on this one. I'm going to pull this scrubber back and we're going to see him land on that one again. No, so he's going to land on the hot one and he's going to hold his nose still and lock up his whole body. He's going to, for just a split second. But I'm going to call it because I want him to know he's right. But these kind of exercises in task 6 are a great way for handlers to start learning how to read the difference between the dog's need to investigate, check out, versus an actual locked-in freeze. And in the case of you and Tara, if you don't want to train a trained final response as taught in CyberScent, then that's okay. You can move on, and with that, just remember that down the road, if you have trouble with reading her behaviors because a deep investigation looks like a natural alert, just keep in mind that maybe you would want to come back and I don't mean necessarily come back to CyberScent, but just come back in training to work on perfecting that trained final response. That's what we offer in CyberScent, and that's what we like to teach clicker trainers so that they have a operant behavior that's fluent, that they can count on being right. One of our CyberScent students is trialing in Elite right now. She's working on her Elite 3 title, and her dog, CyberScent trained dog, had one false alert in his first Elite trial and has never had a false alert since then. And Elite trials have a total of like 18 to 20 hides in a search. And to get to Elite 3, you have to earn a lot of points and be in a lot of trials. So I'd say that's a pretty good data point for a trained final response.